All right, what's up guys? Welcome back to the 12 Drams of Christmas here on Drums and Drams. My name's Cameron, and today we've got day 2 of this new series. We'll have a couple, other musical selections as we move through this series, but today, again, is day 2. And if you haven't seen the first video of this 12 Drams of Christmas, pause this one right now, go back and watch day 1 so you can kind of get a feel for what we're gonna be doing here. Basically, we're doing blind reviews of samples sent in by Patreon members and friends of the channel. I'm not gonna know what I'm smelling and tasting. I'll tell you if I like it, dislike it. Then I'm gonna make a few guesses at the end of the video: age, type of whiskey, proof, distillery, whether or not I think it's finished, and maybe even a bottle guess if I can think of one. And then I'm gonna find out from one of these reveal cards what I was drinking and how right or how wrong I was. So today is the second dram of Christmas. Let's get a sample out of this box, ready to go. And we have sample A8-15. I believe this is from Ryan Lentz from River Roots. So I will find the corresponding reveal card at the end, but for now, let's go ahead and get this in the glass. Nice, pretty dark color here for this whiskey. So we're gonna coat the glass and then get in here on the nose. So because it is the second dram of, oh, I can already smell this out of the glass. I don't know what's going on here. Because this is the second dram of Christmas, I gotta make sure I get this right. For the second day of Christmas, Ryan gave to me 2 laser codes and a short guy in a black tee. So today is the 2 laser codes day. 2 laser codes, short guy in a black tee, that's me, if you didn't know. Here we go, on the nose. Ryan, ooh, I was nervous, but now I'm not nervous anymore. It smelled crafty, kind of like wafting out of the glass, and now it smells like a dusty. So here we go, on the nose, let's see what we get. Oh, okay, oh, I could take a bath in this stuff. So day 1, I wasn't that crazy about the nose. It got better as it went. Ended up being, well, I won't tell you in case you haven't seen it yet, so you can go back and watch. Wasn't crazy right away about that one. It did grow on me. This one I'm crazy about out of the gate. It smells like pure butterscotch candy on the nose, and not in like a suggestion of butterscotch way, not in like a modern day whiskey trying to be old whiskey butterscotch, which you get on some double oaks that are trying to imitate that butterscotchy profile from the 80s. No, this literally smells like a 1980s bourbon on the nose. Yeah, and look, when you're talking about this kind of a profile, typically you're dealing with lower proof whiskeys, like 80, 86 proof. Those are common proof points that they might have been bottled at back in those days. Now you do get your bottled in bonds, you do get your old Grandad 114s as well, but typically nothing much higher than that, I would say. I mean, entry proofs were lower back then, so you didn't have whiskeys going sky high as far as proof. And even if you did, a lot of those were watered down and bottled at these more approachable proofs. So all I'm saying here at the beginning, I'm gonna go back to the nose, but all I wanna say is that this smells wonderful. This is like a total A or A+ kind of nose, and it doesn't smell that weak, even though back in these days, presumably when this was made, it would have been maybe a lower proof product. So let's go back in for one more nose. Yeah, this has these kind of dark sherried fruit notes that you get on some dusties, as well as this very kind of gritty, like asphalt quality. And so those are like kind of common cop-out notes I throw out with a lot of dusties, but truthfully, a lot of dusties have those notes, right? I mean, whether you're talking about Old Hoffman distillate or like Turkey distillate or National Distillers, a lot of them share these particular commonalities. It's really like a paradigm shift when you go back 20, 40, 60 years in the whiskey, in the world of whiskey. Just the overall flavor profile of every brand has essentially shifted from back then. And so I am gonna try to dig a little deeper into this, but I wanna go to the palate now, figure out what kind of proof this is and see if it drinks as well as it smells like it will. So, cheers. This is delicious whiskey. It does have a little softness to it, like a little lull in the mid palate. It's very bold up front, like beautiful, rich, sweet, fruity spice kind of notes up front. Then as it goes into the mid palate, it softens up immensely. Like I could see this being a wheater, only because of that soft mid palate. The front of the palate says it's a rye bourbon. Mid palate says it's a wheater, and maybe that's just because it's a dusty and maybe a lower proof. And then finish, I mean, it's finishing strong, finishing spicy and strong. The proof does not feel that low. Now, I am filming this after day 1, like directly after that video, and I was way high on my proof. So maybe I'm way high today, but I mean, this feels like 100 proof, or if not, maybe even a little bit higher than that. I'm gonna try to narrow down some more things, but I don't think it's finished. I think it's a bourbon. I think it's from the 1980s, or maybe before, but let's just say, generally speaking, it's a dusty. And I think I need a little more time to figure out, the age on this one in particular, and maybe even the distillery. So let's go back in for one more sip. All right, so I'm gonna throw down a few guesses now and see if I can figure this out. I'm so caught up on this butterscotch note. I think you do get this across a lot of Dusties from the era that I assume this is from. However, I think National Distillers has more of that butterscotch profile. I mean, Turkey certainly has it too. So if this is Dusty Turkey and I don't guess that, I'm not gonna be mad at myself. But I'm gonna say that this is a National Distillers product, and the proof being around 100, at least for me, I feel like, you know, I'm gonna say this is an old granddad bottled in bond. I have no idea, you know, I don't know what kind of like year this would be or anything like that. And if it's not an old granddad bottled in bond, which would be maybe like 6 to 8 years old, depending on the year it was bottled, my secondary guess, I'm gonna hazard a secondary guess, is that this is an 8-year Wild Turkey 101 from, you know, sometime back in the 80s. So I think that's as good as I can get on this. I think this is delicious whiskey. It's totally an A-type whiskey. Like, you know, it'd be like an A. Maybe not an A plus because the mid-palate lulls a little bit. But as far as do I want to drink this every day of my life, the answer is a resounding yes. So Ryan, thank you for sending me this sample, man. This is awesome. Yeah, this is his reveal card on the top of the pile here. So let's see what we have. Oh, what? Oh, I'm mad at myself because this is hilarious. This is a 1994, so this is the year I was born. 1994 Maker's Mark 101, so proof-wise, I'm right there. Limited edition gold wax. So I said this could be a wheater on the mid palate, and it is a wheater. It is a Maker's Mark 1994 101. And the other thing that's funny about this is I generally don't like Maker's Mark at all, like current day. Never had a Dusty of it, so I could have never gotten this correct. Although, me guessing wheater, I could have pulled this out of, you know, I could have tried to pull this out, but I probably would have just said Stitzelweller to cop out. But current day makers don't love it. And in fact, dislike pretty much all of it, except I like the 101. So it's funny that I actually like 101 from 30 years ago also. I've always wondered if a Dusty Maker's Mark was any good. The colors are darker than nowadays, as is the case with most of that stuff. And I've seen them on secondary for actually pretty reasonable prices. Listen, whichever one this is, the gold wax limited from 94, no idea what this goes for, but if you're looking for a cool Dusty that tastes friggin' awesome, this would be one. So Ryan, thank you for the sample, man. On the second dram, for the second day of Dramsmas, Ryan gave to me 2 laser codes and a short guy in a black tee. Cheers, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for day 3 of the 12 Drams of Christmas. Cheers, and see you soon here on Drums and Drams.